Hello friends. Have you ever looked at a couple and thought, how in the world do they work? Especially when it seems like their personalities are on opposite ends of the spectrum. Well, buckle in, because today we're diving into one of the zodiac's most puzzling, and oddly magical, pairings, an Aries man and a Pisces woman. One is fire. The other, water. One charges forward like a warrior. The other, drifts through life like a dream. Can a relationship between these two not only survive, but thrive? Let's break it all down. Love compatibility. At first glance, the Aries man and Pisces woman seem like they were dropped into the same room from two entirely different galaxies. One arrives with a spark in his eye, ready to ignite the world. The other enters like a breeze, soft, mysterious, and almost floating above reality. Aries is ruled by Mars, the planet of war, passion, and assertion, while Pisces is ruled by Neptune, the planet of dreams, illusions, and deep intuition. You couldn't design two more different archetypes if you tried. And yet, somehow, something about their contrast sparks undeniable chemistry. The Aries man is a living flame. He's spontaneous, forward-moving, and fiercely independent. He falls in love like a warrior charging into battle, with speed, boldness, and no second-guessing. He thrives on intensity and excitement, and he's not afraid to make the first move. Pisces, in contrast, is a romantic idealist. Her love is fluid, emotional, poetic. She tends to observe before acting, to feel her way into a connection rather than dive headfirst. She craves emotional security, and she wants her relationships to feel like a spiritual experience. What draws these two together is often that very difference. Aries is captivated by Pisces' quiet, enigmatic presence. She isn't like the others. She doesn't try to compete with his energy or dominate the conversation. Instead, she listens. She feels. She understands things he doesn't say out loud. Pisces, meanwhile, finds Aries magnetic. His confidence awakens something in her. He brings her out of her dream world and into action. She feels safe with his strength and alive in his presence. When they fall in love, it's often fast and deep, like a headlong dive into a story neither of them expected. Aries brings energy and spark to Pisces' world. Pisces adds tenderness and depth to Aries' life. They can feel like soulmates in the beginning. The kind of couple that finishes each other's sentences, stays up talking for hours, or makes spontaneous road trips just because the stars look right. But as the initial magic fades, reality starts knocking. Their core differences, once so intriguing, can begin to cause friction. Aries wants movement, action, and control. He's not great with emotional nuance and doesn't have the patience for long, winding explanations. He wants clarity, now. Pisces, on the other hand, is ruled by feelings. She processes love through emotion, not logic. When she's hurt or overwhelmed, she may withdraw, becoming passive or distant. This infuriates Aries, who sees it as avoidance. She sees Aries' bluntness as cold, even cruel. He says what he means. She hears more than he says. Communication becomes a battleground. Aries may accuse Pisces of being too sensitive, too moody, or unrealistic. Pisces may feel bulldozed by Aries' directness, constantly trying to read between the lines and emotionally recover from his sharp edges. Where Aries sees strength in saying things plainly, Pisces sees a lack of care. Where Pisces hopes for emotional reassurance, Aries feels smothered or misunderstood. But here's the thing, if they are willing to grow, this couple has the potential to be truly transformative. The Aries man has a lot to learn from the Pisces woman. She can show him how to be more emotionally intelligent, how to slow down, and how to appreciate the subtle, nonverbal aspects of love. Her intuition can help him see the bigger emotional picture, something he often misses in his rush forward. When he listens to her, he gains not just a lover, but a deeper understanding of himself. Pisces, on the other hand, learns from Aries how to stand up for herself, how to act on her dreams, and how to protect her own heart without losing her sensitivity. Aries helps her draw boundaries. He challenges her to be brave in ways she never thought possible. Their love works best when they see each other not as opposites, but as complements. Fire needs water to keep from burning out. Water needs fire to stay warm and not freeze into stillness. This relationship doesn't succeed by default. It succeeds through effort. Aries must learn that not all emotions are problems to be solved. Sometimes, they just need space. Pisces must understand that not all directness is cruelty, sometimes it's just honesty in a different form. If they can bridge their communication gap and meet each other halfway, they can create a love that's not just passionate, but profound. Imagine Aries, once impulsive and rigid, learning to stop mid-sentence and ask, "How do you feel about this?" Imagine Pisces, usually hesitant and soft-spoken, finding the courage to say, "This is what I need." That's where the magic lives. It's not a perfect match. But no great love story ever is. What makes this pairing powerful isn't that they're the same, it's that they grow together. Their love forces them to become better versions of themselves. Aries learns compassion. Pisces learns confidence. Together, they become something neither could be alone. So, is it real? More than real. It's rare. Because when these two meet in the middle, they don't just fall in love, they evolve. And that, in the end, might be the most romantic thing of all. Sexual compatibility. This is where their differences don't just show, they ignite. The Aries man and Pisces woman may seem mismatched on the surface when it comes to physical intimacy, but what lies beneath is a deeply layered, emotionally charged, and often transformative sexual connection. Their styles couldn't be more different. Aries is a firestorm of desire, charging in headfirst with hunger, confidence, and urgency. Pisces is the slow-moving tide of emotion, sensuality, and spiritual yearning. But when fire meets water with care, patience, and openness, something rare and beautiful can unfold. The Aries man enters the bedroom with energy that feels almost electric. He's ruled by Mars, the planet of action, aggression, and physicality, so sex for him is a form of conquest, expression, and release. He craves spontaneity. He lives for the chase, the adrenaline, the raw heat of passion. His approach is physical first, emotional later. He wants to feel alive, and sex is one of the most immediate ways he experiences that. The Pisces woman, on the other hand, is ruled by Neptune, a planet of dreams, illusions, and deep emotional tides. For her, sex is never just physical. It's a form of emotional connection, of merging souls. She wants to feel seen, safe, and emotionally attuned before she fully opens herself. She isn't necessarily shy about sex, on the contrary, she can be wildly imaginative and deeply sensual, but she needs to feel emotionally intertwined with her partner. Trust is her aphrodisiac. So, what happens when these two collide? In the best-case scenario, Aries' boldness breaks through Pisces' walls, and Pisces' depth draws Aries into uncharted territory. He shows her how to let go and surrender to physical pleasure, to live in the moment. She shows him how to slow down, to feel the heartbeat beneath the skin, to experience intimacy as something transcendent. Their union becomes more than physical, it becomes sacred. He touches her body. She touches his soul. But, without awareness, their differences can create tension rather than passion. If Aries rushes in with his typical, now or never, attitude, too rough, too fast, too focused on gratification, Pisces may shut down. She's sensitive to energy, and if she feels like just another checkmark on Aries' to-do list, she may emotionally detach or completely withdraw. He might not even realize it happened until the lights are off and her distance is unmistakable. She won't always say what's wrong. She'll simply disappear into herself. Likewise, Pisces' need for emotional prelude, long conversations, tender moments, feeling in sync, can frustrate Aries, who often doesn't have the patience for emotional foreplay. If she seems to be waiting for the stars to align while he's already unbuttoning his shirt, sparks can quickly turn into friction. Aries may interpret her hesitation as rejection or emotional manipulation. Pisces may see his eagerness as insensitive or even selfish. And yet, when they're in sync, when Aries listens and Pisces lets go, their sex life becomes something utterly unique. Aries learns that slowing down doesn't mean giving up intensity. It means channeling that fire into every touch, every glance, every whispered word. He discovers a new kind of pleasure, one rooted not just in desire, but in presence. Pisces, when she feels emotionally safe, can become uninhibited, almost ethereal in her expression of love. Her sensuality is fluid and creative, turning sex into an art form. She may surprise Aries with how deeply she can meet him, body and soul. Together, they can create a rhythm that balances heat with heart. It's not just about meeting in the middle, it's about entering each other's world. When Aries takes the time to understand Pisces' emotional landscape, he gains access to a deeper, more meaningful kind of pleasure, one that isn't just physical, but transformative. When Pisces trusts Aries enough to let his passion carry her, she realizes that surrender can be just as powerful as sensitivity. They both have something to teach each other. For Aries, sex is about power and connection. For Pisces, it's about emotion and transcendence. If they can honor both of those needs, their lovemaking becomes more than a moment, it becomes a journey. One where they don't just explore each other's bodies, but each other's souls. The bedroom becomes their bridge. A place where fire and water don't destroy, but create. So, yes, it can be steamy. It can be complicated. But it can also be unforgettable. Because when the Aries man learns to feel, and the Pisces woman learns to let go, what they discover between the sheets isn't just chemistry. It's magic. Marriage compatibility. Marriage between an Aries man and a Pisces woman is a fascinating and delicate dance between fire and mist. On paper, they seem like an odd pairing. He's a battle-ready warrior charging through life, she's a poetic dreamer with one foot always in another world. But beneath their surface differences lies a rich potential for a marriage that is as emotionally transformative as it is passionate. It all depends on how much they're willing to evolve, not just for each other, but because of each other. Aries men, despite their impulsive nature, take commitment seriously once they make that leap. They're not known for half measures. When he says, "I do," he means it with his whole chest. He wants a partner who fires him up, not one who slows him down. He looks for someone who believes in his dreams, stands by his side, and matches his energy, or at least doesn't try to tame it. His ideal spouse is supportive but independent, loving but not clingy, and bold enough to challenge him when necessary. Pisces women, by contrast, approach marriage with their whole heart, but in a quieter, more soulful way. She's a believer in true love, cosmic connections, and growing old with someone who just gets her. She's nurturing, intuitive, and emotionally generous. She brings warmth and emotional intelligence into the relationship, often acting as the invisible glue that keeps things together when life gets rough. Her love isn't loud, but it runs deep. She gives endlessly, often without expecting much in return, something that can be both her greatest strength and her biggest vulnerability in a marriage. When they come together, the Aries man brings the structure and drive, while the Pisces woman brings the softness and emotional nuance. She may inspire him to think about life in deeper, more emotional terms. He may give her the courage to turn dreams into actions. Their differences, if balanced well, can form the foundation of a dynamic and well-rounded marriage. He pushes them forward. She makes sure they're still emotionally aligned along the way. But let's be clear, this marriage requires work. The Aries man thrives on autonomy. He doesn't like to feel held back or emotionally micromanaged. He prefers quick decisions, clear communication, and immediate action. Pisces, on the other hand, may take longer to process things. She needs emotional safety and the space to feel, reflect, and occasionally retreat. If Aries sees her introspection as weakness, or worse, manipulation, resentment can build. If Pisces sees Aries' decisiveness as control or emotional coldness, she may withdraw or become passive-aggressive rather than addressing the issue directly. Over time, this dynamic can create a toxic loop. Aries may unintentionally bulldoze through Pisces' emotional boundaries, assuming that if she's not speaking up, everything's fine. Pisces, not wanting to rock the boat, may suppress her feelings until they erupt or slowly erode her sense of self. Aries might see her emotional needs as excessive. Pisces might feel neglected or unappreciated. Without conscious communication, what once felt like a magical connection can devolve into confusion and distance. And yet, if they choose to understand each other, this relationship can be unlike any other. Marriage is not just about compatibility, it's about evolution. And in this union, both partners are pushed to grow in ways they wouldn't on their own. Aries learns to soften, to listen, to sit with discomfort instead of charging through it. He begins to understand that love isn't always loud or obvious, it can be quiet, patient, and still. Pisces learns to speak up, to assert her needs, and to protect her emotional space without retreating into silence. She discovers that love can be bold and still be kind. Together, they can build a life that blends passion with purpose. Aries helps bring Pisces' dreams into reality, turning ideas into actions, fantasies into goals. Pisces keeps Aries emotionally grounded, reminding him that success is hollow without soul, and that vulnerability isn't a weakness, it's a superpower. Their marriage, when balanced, becomes a safe space where both ambition and emotion are honored equally. In practical terms, their home might be full of contrast, structured schedules meeting spontaneous art projects, driven morning routines balanced by dreamy late-night conversations. Arguments may be frequent but brief, with Aries venting in bursts and Pisces processing slowly and emotionally. The key lies in learning each other's languages. Pisces must not fear Aries' intensity, and Aries must not dismiss Pisces' emotional depth. This isn't a set it and forget it type of marriage. It demands attention, patience, and above all, maturity. But the reward is a relationship that expands both partners' worlds. Aries becomes more emotionally attuned. Pisces becomes more self-empowered. And together, they discover a kind of love that is rooted in contrast but strengthened by compassion. So yes, it's serious. And yes, it's interesting. Because when a fiery soul learns to love with softness, and a watery heart learns to stand tall in love, they don't just share a marriage, they create a transformation. One that defies logic, survives storms, and feels, in the truest sense of the word, destined. Friendship compatibility. When it comes to friendship between an Aries man and a Pisces woman, the connection can be as enriching as it is unlikely. On the surface, they seem like complete opposites. Aries is bold, headstrong, and thrives on challenge. Pisces is gentle, introspective, and emotionally intuitive. He's fire, she's water. And yet, when romance isn't part of the equation, this astrological odd couple can form a truly meaningful and lasting friendship, one built on mutual admiration, emotional growth, and complementary energy. Aries often finds himself drawn to people who don't try to compete with his energy, people who offer a kind of quiet strength he doesn't naturally possess. Enter Pisces. She doesn't push. She doesn't demand. She feels. Her presence is calming, grounding, and strangely comforting for the always-on-the-go Aries. She listens when he rants. She doesn't try to solve his problems, but her empathy makes him feel understood in a way few others manage. For a man who rarely shows vulnerability, Aries may find in Pisces the one person who sees behind his armor, and doesn't flinch. For Pisces, Aries can be an unexpected gift. He brings her out of her emotional shell and reminds her that action has power. She's often lost in thought or fantasy, hesitant to make big moves. Aries, with his natural confidence, becomes a source of inspiration. He pushes her to take chances, to believe in herself, and to live life out loud. In a way, Aries helps Pisces translate her dreams into reality. He cheers her on, sometimes impatiently, but always with genuine belief in her potential. His support can light a fire under her that no amount of self-reflection ever could. This dynamic creates a powerful balance. Aries motivates, Pisces nurtures. Aries leads with his head and fists, sometimes, Pisces with her heart. Together, they can form a friendship that's both productive and emotionally satisfying, a safe space with just the right amount of push and pull. Aries teaches Pisces to be bold. Pisces teaches Aries to be soft. Each brings what the other lacks. But, like all meaningful friendships, it isn't without its friction. Aries, with his blunt honesty and quick temper, may unintentionally hurt Pisces' feelings. He doesn't mean to be harsh, it's just how he operates. He says what he thinks, without sugarcoating. Pisces, however, feels deeply. She picks up on tone, subtext, and emotional undercurrents, even when none are intended. A careless comment from Aries can stay with her for days. And because she tends to avoid direct confrontation, she may retreat instead of expressing what's wrong. This can confuse Aries, who doesn't always understand emotional nuance and may assume everything is fine, until it's not. On the flip side, Pisces' emotional depth and shifting moods can be exhausting for Aries. He thrives on clarity and directness. When Pisces spirals into emotional complexity or needs long periods of introspection, Aries may lose patience. He might see her as too sensitive, or even melodramatic. What she views as emotional honesty, he might see as overthinking. If he feels he's constantly being asked to tiptoe around her feelings, frustration can build. Still, when both understand where the other is coming from, they can navigate these differences with compassion. The key to maintaining this friendship is acceptance. Aries needs to recognize that Pisces doesn't process life at the same speed or in the same way. She's not indecisive, she's careful. She's not overly emotional, she's deeply intuitive. Likewise, Pisces must see Aries' intensity not as aggression, but as passion. He's not trying to dominate, he's just wired to act, to move, to lead. Once they stop trying to change each other and start appreciating each other's unique strengths, their friendship gains depth and resilience. Another hidden strength in their bond is loyalty. Aries is fiercely loyal to those he considers part of his inner circle. If Pisces earns that place, Aries will defend her, support her, and stand by her through anything. He becomes her protector, often without even realizing it. Pisces, for her part, offers unconditional emotional support. She'll be the first to call when Aries is struggling, even if he hasn't said a word. She senses when he's off, and she shows up, not with solutions, but with presence. Their friendship can weather storms if built on mutual respect. They may not always agree. They may need breaks to recalibrate. But the bond they share is rare. It's not loud or flashy. It's steady, surprising, and quietly transformative. Because while Aries teaches Pisces to be brave, Pisces teaches Aries that bravery isn't just about fighting, it's also about feeling. So can they be just friends? Not only can they can be some of the best friends each other ever has. It won't always be easy, but it will always be meaningful. And sometimes, that's the friendship that stays with you for life. Business compatibility. The business dynamic between an Aries man and a Pisces woman is a complex equation of drive versus depth, impulse versus intuition, and execution versus imagination. On their own, each brings a powerful set of tools to the table. Aries is the fire starter, decisive, bold, and hungry for results. Pisces is the dream weaver, empathetic, visionary, and deeply attuned to people and trends that others overlook. Together, they can form a business partnership that's both innovative and emotionally intelligent. But, and this is a big but, only if they learn how to sync their vastly different working styles. Aries in business is a go-getter in every sense of the word. He doesn't wait for conditions to be perfect or ideas to be refined, he acts. He's confident, competitive, and unafraid to take risks, even when others hesitate. For Aries, time is money, and the worst offense in business is indecision. He wants to move fast, break things, and learn by doing. This energy can be a huge asset in any company, especially in startups or high-pressure industries where speed is essential. Pisces, meanwhile, approaches business from an entirely different dimension. Her strengths lie in emotional intelligence, creative thinking, and understanding the why behind the what. She has an uncanny ability to read a market's emotional pulse, spot trends before they become mainstream, and empathize with both clients and team members. She doesn't just think about what the company does, she dreams about how it makes people feel. Pisces is the kind of partner who wants to build something meaningful, not just profitable. Put these two together, and you've got the potential for magic. Aries takes the vision and runs with it, powering through obstacles and executing like a machine. Pisces crafts that vision with nuance, making sure the brand has heart, soul, and emotional resonance. Aries ensures the ship stays on course, Pisces makes sure it knows where it's headed. Think of Aries as the engine and Pisces as the compass, one without the other either stalls or gets lost. But the challenges? Oh, they're real. Aries can be incredibly impatient when working with someone as fluid and nonlinear as Pisces. He might see her as slow, overly idealistic, or even impractical. He thrives on clarity and quick decisions, she thrives on creative exploration and emotional alignment. If Aries begins to steamroll decisions without consulting Pisces, or worse, dismisses her input as soft, the working relationship starts to break down fast. Pisces will retreat, emotionally check out, or begin to doubt her place in the business. On the flip side, Pisces may find Aries to be too aggressive, too fixated on results, and insensitive to the more human aspects of the business. She may struggle with his need to dominate meetings, cut through ideas before they've fully formed, or prioritize profits over people. If Pisces feels like her emotional labor or creative insights are undervalued, she won't always speak up, she'll simply start pulling away, until one day Aries realizes she's no longer emotionally invested. The only way this partnership thrives is through clear boundaries, deep respect, and radically different but complementary roles. Aries needs to take the lead on structure, momentum, and decision-making. He's the one who turns plans into action, rallies the team, and makes things happen. Pisces should take the lead on brand identity, user experience, marketing storytelling, team wellness, and client empathy. She's the soul behind the strategy, the one who keeps the company human. If each understands their role and sees the value in the other's strengths, they can create something not only successful but meaningful. It's also worth noting that Pisces brings long-term vision to Aries' short-term drive. Aries may be focused on launching fast or closing the next big deal, while Pisces is already thinking about how the brand will evolve 5 years from now, and how it will make people feel in the process. Her input is essential to building a business with staying power, not just one that burns bright and fast. On a more day-to-day level, they'll need to learn how to communicate. Aries must pause before reacting. Pisces must speak up instead of silently hoping Aries will intuit her feelings. Aries must recognize that not all pauses are wasted time, some are the incubation period for genius. Pisces must realize that not every risk is reckless, some are necessary leaps of faith. Trust is the foundation here. If Aries trusts that Pisces' slower, more emotional approach adds depth and foresight, he'll stop trying to rush every decision. If Pisces trusts that Aries' decisiveness and assertiveness aren't meant to silence her, she'll stop second-guessing her value in the partnership. Respecting each other's process is everything. When they get it right, the results are powerful. The Aries man fuels the business with relentless motion. The Pisces woman infuses it with purpose and depth. Together, They create a venture that doesn't just move fast, it means something. Customers don't just buy, they connect. Teams don't just work, they believe. The business isn't just scalable, it's soulful. But make no mistake, this isn't an effortless match. It's one that requires emotional intelligence, role clarity, and a willingness to grow beyond ego. If they can manage that, they won't just be business partners, they'll be alchemists, turning ideas into impact. So yes, it's tricky. But with the right balance of fire and flow, this partnership doesn't just succeed, it transcends. Final thoughts. So, are Aries men and Pisces women truly compatible? The short answer is, it depends. But the long answer is much more interesting. This is not a pairing built on obvious harmony or easy synchronicity. It's a story of contrast, of friction, of learning and evolving. The Aries man and Pisces woman don't just fall into step with each other, they learn to dance through their differences. When it works, it's a connection that transforms both partners from the inside out. Not despite their opposites, but because of them. This pairing invites personal evolution. Aries, with his need for action and independence, finds himself having to slow down and listen, to tune into something softer, more emotional, more nuanced. Pisces becomes his mirror, quietly reflecting back the emotions he so often ignores or pushes aside. In return, Aries offers Pisces something solid, something real, something to lean on when her emotional tides become too much. He doesn't just push her out of her comfort zone, he helps her build one with stronger walls. Together, they face a learning curve. They may misunderstand each other in the beginning. Aries can find Pisces overly sensitive, hard to read, or frustratingly indirect. Pisces may see Aries as harsh, impulsive, or emotionally shallow. But if they choose to look past the symptoms and understand the roots, his need to protect, her need to feel, they uncover a profound emotional alchemy. Pisces teaches Aries to be more present, more feeling, more human. Aries teaches Pisces to be more decisive, more fearless, more grounded in reality. Their journey together isn't always peaceful, but it's always meaningful. These two can bring out the worst in each other, or the absolute best. And what determines the outcome? Not fate, not zodiac signs, but effort. Maturity. Willingness to grow. If they're both willing to meet in the middle, to speak each other's emotional language, to see love as a bridge and not a battleground, they can build something rare, a relationship that doesn't just survive, but evolves. This match isn't ideal for those looking for easy compatibility. But for those who want to be challenged, who want to be changed, who want a connection that feels like poetry wrapped in fire, it's one of the most rewarding combinations in the zodiac. Aries brings the thunder. Pisces brings the rain. And when they come together in balance, they create the kind of love that nourishes, not just themselves, but everyone around them. Because when fire meets water, you don't just get steam. You get transformation. You get healing. You get magic. And that, more than anything else, is the point of compatibility, not to find someone who matches you perfectly, but someone who makes you better just by being different. If you found this deep dive compelling, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and explore our other astrological breakdowns. And always remember, your stars may sketch the outline, but you color it in. Compatibility is a guide, not a rule. Until next time, keep looking up.